can you share with us on knowledge about fundraising, startups and businesses? Because you probably met a lot of different people and so try to sell and
It's if we say that building startup is a roller coaster journey, then I want us to think of raising capital as a roller coaster journey in the dark. You don't even know what's coming, right? Because this is a different ball game. It's really a different ball game. But one of the interesting and maybe three conclusions that are really, really important. The first one is that after I sold Waze, I spoke with many of the venture capital firms and I asked them one very interesting question.
After selling the Waze?
After selling the Waze. So I'm already very successful entrepreneur with, the credibility of building a unicorn and so forth. So the dialogue was quite open, right? And I remember one of them that I was asking we were sitting in a small room like this one, right? And I was asking the partner at the VC, how long does it take you to decide if you like the entrepreneur or not? So we're sitting in a small room, right? The guy is looking at me, looking at the door, looking at me again and says, before they sit down, right? So this is how fast it takes us to establish the first impression. Now, if you say, no, it doesn't make sense. Okay, how long does it take you to decide if you like a new candidate or not? Second. You go on a date. How long does it take you to decide if you like the date or not? Second. And then you might allow yourself a few more minutes to either let the first impression solidifies or to change that. Now, if this is the case and you are going to pitch, then you need to start with the strongest point at the beginning, whatever it is. And I don't care what it is. If this is about the team, then start with that. If this is about the size of the problem, start with that. If this is about, I don't know, whatever it is, start with that. Because by the time you'll get there, it might be irrelevant anymore. They already made up their mind. So this is the first one. The second one is that I spoke with many investors that made seed investment, right? So the first investment into a company. And asked them, why did you decide to say yes? And I did that with multiple venture capital firms. And what I heard was always the same. I like the CEO. I like the story. That's it. I like the CEO. I like the story. Nothing else. Then you said, okay, two things that I will tell you here. One, CEO goes alone to raise capital. Alone.
CEO goes alone.
Not with the team. You need to shine. If you want to shine, then you have to be there by yourself. No other people, no one else, right? Just you. And the other one is learn how to tell a good story. And good story is about creating emotional engagement, right? So you want people to believe you want them that they would think or they would feel that they want to be part of the story. And if you don't know how to tell a good story, then go and learn how to tell a good story. Because if you don't, then they are not going to like either you or the story, and that's it, end of story. They are not going to invest. The most important part, it's a different ball game, right? So just imagine that Brazil is not that great these days, but we play football against the US, right? Mm-hmm. If this is Brazilian football, then we're going to win. If this is American football, we're going to lose. It's a different ball game, right? Mm-hmm. When you realize that this is a different ball game, and I actually have 2 chapters about fundraising, right? In my book, there are 2 chapters, 5A and 5B, because it's so complex. Then you have to understand that you are going to hear 100 times no. And it's not that they know better than you. This is the model, right? This is the model. A venture capitalist partner in a firm is likely to see 1 or 200 companies per year and invest in 1 or 2, 1%, 1 out of 100. So that immediately means that on your side, you need to plan for meeting 100 investors, right? And one of them is going to say yes. It's not necessarily that correlation, but you will get used to hear no and no and no and no. Mm-hmm. And trust me, it's frustrating and discouraging. And you need to keep on doing that.
Yeah. Something I learned very recently is that the more no's you get, the higher the profits. Because, for example, I'm selling through my phone and I make 100 calls a day. and then I increase the price by 100%, for example, I'll probably hear more no's, but I probably won't sell 50% less. Probably, not for sure, but probably. So the more no's, the more profits. And when you're pitching, the more pitches, more yes you have.
Agree. And this is really, you take the examples of you selling a product, right? The conversion ratio of a phone call when you are selling a product should be about anywhere between 25 to 35%, right? So this is good sales pitch. Good sales pitch, good salesperson would have this conversion. Mm-hmm. In fundraising, it's 1%.
1%.
This is something new to everyone, right? Because just imagine, think of the following, right? So you go on 100 dates and everyone tells you no, right? If this is the ratio, then that will be end of humanity, right? Because we will simply stop, right? Mm-hmm. But entrepreneur, the most important behavior of an entrepreneur is never give up. Never give up. No matter what happens, you keep on fighting uphill, downhill, under severe conditions, you never give up.
O maior evento de educação financeira do mundo está chegando, é isso mesmo, FinDay 2024, dia 19 de outubro, serão mais de 10 horas de conteúdo, grandes nomes do mercado, temos Thiago Nigro, Bruno Perini, Guilherme Bentimol, Flávio Augusto, Clóvis de Barros, Paulo Guedes, Felipe Spritzer, Cristina Junqueira, ou seja, um baita de um evento para você curtir o dia inteiro. Serão mais de 25 mil pessoas numa plenária gigante, no maior evento que o Grupo Primo já fez. E para você fazer parte disso, vou deixar aqui um link na descrição e você também pode seguir o Instagram FinDay_Grupo Primo para você ficar por dentro de todas as informações, tirar suas dúvidas e tudo mais, beleza? Espero você lá.